as the theme this month is autumn, I wanted to create a card and not necessarily have an autumnal feel. Gosh, I didn't think I'd get that word out, but I did. Not necessarily have an autumnal feel, but use colours for autumn. So I'm going to stick to oranges and reds, some browns and a little bit of green. But the card design could really be used at any time of the year. So what I want to do is I just want to start creating a background. So the panel of my card here is I think 5.5 or 5 3/4 inches, and I'm going to start with some distress inks and start with the lighter colour. So that's now my quick background. I'm just going to blend in a little bit of the two colours here, and I am deliberately trying to keep a lighter space in the middle, she says, now putting her inky fingers in the middle of it. Right, I'm going to be using my Shady Designs Oh So Circular stamp set. When I designed the stamp set, I wanted it to be that with one stamp you could create the look of multiple layers very, very easily and very, very quickly. Now the centre part here is a completely separate stamp, which means you can use it and create lots of different style backgrounds, or you could stamp back in the middle. So this now means if I stamp this down, I have a complete aperture here that I can work in. So I'm going to get everything ready and just grab my ink pad and we'll do a little bit of stamping. I'm going to be using my VersaFine Claire Fallen Leaves in the black, which is a beautiful brown. Now, I have stamped this already, and I was going to go over it again and make the detailing stand out a little bit more, but I'm actually going to leave it as is because I quite like the faded look now, and I think it goes with the way the background is. So I'm actually going to leave it and then build up upon it rather than make it darker and stand out more. For this card, I'm going to take the circle and just place it in the middle, and I'm just going to use it to fill the gap we've got. Sorry if my head keeps getting in the way. I keep forgetting where the camera is, so I do apologise. And what I want to do is use the same colours as I've done before, and I'm not going to go for perfect coverage of this, and I'm not going to go for perfect blending. I could use my brayer to do that. I just want to put the ink down and use the side of the pad and create some layers that way. So I've got that going on there and it creates a little bit of layers, and I just want to add now a little bit of detail around the edge using the other colour, but this time I will blend this one out a little bit more because I do want this part to be a little bit smoother. So I'm just going to use my blending brush and just tap it out a little bit just to make those lines. The darkness will be there, but it won't be lots of straight lines. It gives you a bit of a contrast between the two different stamping styles. So now I've got my background very, very quickly there, and I can see the light and dark. I could carry on building, but I quite like leaving it like this. So I'm just going to tidy up these inks and get ready to do the next part. Using one of the stamps from the same stamp set, I'm just going to start building up around the background a little. And I've gone for a VersaFine Clair again and Summertime. So it's going to be very tonal and match in. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that colour in place and just slowly stamp around the edge of the circle. I could rotate it round so it goes different directions. I could do a little bit of ghost stamping, but I think I'm going to stick to the more solid colour because I quite like the idea of that. There is also a smaller butterfly stamp, so I thought I'm going to bring that in, and I'm going for a red colour and just add one or two of those. So I'm keeping everything within the same sort of colour families or starting points, as it were, but just adding a little bit more detail or background. Now I just want to extend the background a little bit more, and I'm going to grab a coordinating stamp set to this, which is Shady Designs Blooming Circles. And I just want to bring in this little circular stamp down here and just bring out some of the pattern, extend it a little bit further. And I'm going to go back to the brown. Now we've got those bits done, I could get my water pen and bleach some of the colour out and then make them stand out a little bit more, or I could colour them in to, you know, to make them blend in, but I quite like leaving it as they are. I'm going to put this to one side because I just want to make some now accessory images as well. The next part for me is to create some of the other imagery I want to use on there. And I'm going to, as I said, stick to the same colours that I've done. And I'm just going to stamp out lots of different elements, again, still from the same stamp set, that I think will work with the card. Now, every one of the creatives who is taking part in this month's YouTube Hop is listed below. So please do pop over to their channel because they're using the same theme as I am, and they're just taking it in a completely different direction, which I think is really wonderful. Right, that's all the stamping I'm going to do. I'm going to pause the video and just go away and cut out each of these images, and then we can get ready for using them with the background to create our finished card. Right, I've cut all my images out and I'm just going to add a bit of colour. I'm going to start with the leaves, and I'm using peel paint distress ink, so I'm just sticking to the distress ink. And next, add a little bit of colour to the flowers. I'm going to keep it quite light, I think. I'll probably change my mind after I start colouring. Okay, so they're all coloured up and I'm just going to give them a few minutes to dry. Okay, so this is my card blank, and all I've done is taken the backing panel and I've added it to a small piece of white, and then I've put it onto a craft card blank. So this is ready to go. Right, I've got a gold pen and I just want to add a few splats. I think I'll use a paintbrush. Let's just put some out here. Well, that's probably a bit too much. We go, and then let's just grab some of these bits here. I'm not going to be precise, just layer them like this and just bring in some of that. Let's water it down a bit. Everything has now dried, so I'm going to start assembling the card and just build up a few of the different layers. Now, even though I've stamped and coloured everything, and I do that a lot, it gives me options then to change my mind, add more, add less, you know, what works for me. So I'm just going to put a few foam pads on the back and just start building up how I feel the card should look. So I've got, and this script is in the stamp set, but it doesn't read as something. You can see some of the words but not all of the words. It's just a lovely background. I'm just going to put that down there. Apologies if my head got in the way. It was me trying to see if it was straight. Okay, so start building up some of these, and some of these I'm going to raise higher and some of them I will tuck under. And I want to have the sentiment, so the sentiment is sitting on top of some of the words, so I've got a little bit of extra texture and layering. I'm not going to stick it down at the moment because I might raise it up, but we'll leave it like that at the moment. And then I can look at adding the extra flowers that I want to do and a few of the leaves and how I want to lay this out. So let's have a think. Right, I'm going to put that one up there. Right, that's the card finished. I'm not sure if I need to add a few sequins or even a few faux gems, but for now I'm going to leave it as is and call it finished, walk away and see if I want to add any more. Thanks ever so much for your time and company, and don't forget to visit the other creatives involved in this YouTube hop, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care and thank you.